Hi guys, it's Frankie from Frankie Tech. Good to see you guys again. And I'm here with my quick take and initial impressions of this awesome phone here, the Galaxy S10 Plus. Now, as you guys know, I've had this phone for just one evening and one morning, so this is not an exhaustive review here. I'm just going to go through a few of my initial impressions of this phone, just do a quick comparison in terms of design between a few of the other phones I have, and then we're going to do more in-depth stuff with this phone. But let's get started right here with just what's inside the box on the S10. And as you can see, it's the Prism green version, 8 GB of RAM, 128 gigs of storage. Looking inside here, this is where you would have the case. And the case is actually right here. Now, I don't know if I love this case. It's kind of one of these hard shell cases. Not a huge fan, so definitely hoping to get a better case for the S10e very soon. But there's not much else in there. The SIM ejector tool is right there. Let's chuck that aside now. And as you can see, we have the Samsung Advanced Fast Charging Brick. Let's see if we can get some info on it right here. And it looks to be a 15 watt charger, but I will have to double check that later. And you have your little tool here for USB-C to USB-A. And another nice thing you have, well, here's the USB-C cable, which is in there. Pretty standard, are these AKG headphones. And I haven't tested these out yet, but I will be testing them out since the S10 Plus is one of those phones, along with the S10e, that does have a headphone jack. And I guess kudos to Samsung for continuing to do that. I know most of the market has moved on from that, but they have not. And so just sharing my initial impressions from last night into today of this phone. Samsung, you're actually impressing me here. You're doing a really good job, and I think this S10 Plus is the culmination of a lot of years of refinement and improvement on this series, and in this beautiful prism green, no less. Look at this color, and I'm going to just wipe this down real quick. Now, I love this color. I'm not sure if you guys know this about me, but green is my favorite color. So I realized in the moment when my guy told me that he had the prism green version, I looked at a photo online and I was immediately just like, if I'm going to get this phone and test it out, it's got to be this color. And design-wise, this phone is looking really impressive. This 6.4-inch screen is great, and I think it may be one of the best panels I've ever seen on a phone. Look at the settings there. We have the capsule notch at the top, and I'll definitely be going more in depth with the display of this phone. But as of right now, I think I may have just found the best display on a smartphone, and I wouldn't be surprised if this AMOLED screen wins out in the DisplayMate kind of rankings there of best displays on a phone. Performance being the main thing I want to focus on, and comparing this Galaxy S10 Plus here to the other Snapdragon 840, 855 phones. So while we do that, let's bring out right here the Xiaomi Mi 9 and the Vivo IQOO. Now there you see, just in terms of actual size comparison, all three of these phones are pretty similarly sized. I think the Mi 9 still has the most kind of captivating back, and you see there's a fingerprint magnet right there. It definitely is a major fingerprint magnet. And the Vivo does have this kind of interesting ridged look there that reflects through. It's really nice. But this prism green, gosh, I hate to say this because I never thought I would say it, but I think I might like the back of this Samsung S10 Plus over these two phones. Are we living in like a parallel universe? Because I really do feel like I'm all of a sudden becoming a Samsung fan, and I'd never expected this to be the case, but this is just looking so nice. And the way it shimmers in the light, it is just premium as premium can be. Looking at the front panels, let's just quickly look at these next to each other. You have the Vivo IQOO, and you have your Xiaomi Mi 9. And so all these phones are hovering in and around that 6.4-inch display category there. But let's go to the settings so you see the full kind of size of the bezels there. Well, if you ask me which one has the smallest bezels between the S10 Plus and the Xiaomi Mi 9, it's close. It's really close. I may want to say that the S10 Plus is slightly smaller still, than the bezel on the Xiaomi Mi 9 right here. And on the Vivo IQOO, it's also very close, but I think the bezels on the S10 Plus are a little smaller. Now, what's the deal with the edges on this phone? And that was one of the things that I was really concerned about, is that these curved edges were going to be a deal breaker for me. I think Samsung has done a really good job here of minimizing the curve as much as possible. And you don't realize that until you pick up this phone and start using it. The curve is very small. It's almost not even there. Like, I do feel it, and you do kind of see that, kind of greenish kind of color shifting that's happening there. I'm not a fan of that, and I've never been a fan of the curved edges, but for some reason on this phone, they don't bother me as much. And I think that is because the curve is so subtle and so sharp down that you just don't notice it too much. But stay tuned for that full comparison between these phones. Can't wait to do that in a little bit. And talking about audio, this does have a 3.5 millimeter headphone jack, you see there. And I previously tested the S10e in terms of audio performance, so I hope this will perform as well. But let's see if I can just open here. Snapdragon 855, man, it logs in quick. Let's go to that calm, progressive house here. Let's put this to 75%, and let's hear what it sounds like. Oh man, and I just filmed this other video with the Mi 9 and Mi 9 SE a little bit earlier, and they sounded good, but I think this speaker may have them beat. The S10e also had a really great speaker, so if it's the same one that's in the Galaxy S10 Plus, we may have a new speaker champion, at least for single bottom firing, and that is something that I didn't expect to see from a Samsung phone. So just a few last things I wanted to show you quickly here. DRM Info. There you see it, L1, baby. That's HD Netflix out of the box. Same as the S10e, so very happy that that's the case. And then CPU-Z, which is the version that I have, Snapdragon 855. So that will make my comparisons between this phone and the other two Snapdragon 855 phones I have, the Xiaomi Mi 9 and the Vivo IQOO, all the more valuable. And I can't wait to do that comparison. I'll probably be doing that later on in the earlier part of next week, so stay tuned for that, and it's going to be an epic showdown. We're going to do it as in-depth as we do here on Frankie Tech, so stay tuned for that. But that's it with this just quick initial impressions. First 12 hours with this phone, it's going great, and I can't wait to step out and take some more shots on this phone, download the games I want to on this phone, and just consider this my part 2 of the unboxing and first look from the Street Tag video last night. So if you like this quick look here, give me that thumbs up. And if you love the content of Frankie Tech, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell icon for future updates. Great stuff coming up, guys. A lot of phones to test, a lot of videos to produce, but I'm doing it here, doing it for you guys. So thanks again for all your support. And this is where I leave you by saying, this is Frankie Tech signing off. Y'all have a good one.